I watched 64 movies in January. 8 of them were shorts, 4 comedy specials, and 2 docs. 5 of them were rewatches, and that leaves 45 first-time feature film watches. That's a lot of movies. We started with Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Pretty clear they were just setting up for a third one, which was pretty disappointing for the first watch of the year. I really wanted it to be really good. I did enjoy the first one. I did. I thought it was going to be really fun. I liked the Henson animatronics. I think the Jim Henson Company is always putting out good work. Not always, but for the most part, loved the new Muppets. It just felt like they were really trying to set up the next movie, which was a bummer. Then we watched Spiral from the Book of Saw. Hadn't seen that before. Fine. Coherence, a weird little sci-fi flick that I hadn't seen before. Came out in 2013. Loved it. You should watch Coherence. Then I watched the first John Wick movie, which I hadn't seen before. I'm not a huge bang shoot 'em up movie kind of guy, but I like Keanu Reeves when he's in his element. Then we watched Casablanca. Hadn't seen it before. I know, 1942. Great movie. Obviously a great movie. Followed that up with Dangerous Animals, the horror release from 2025. I know some people didn't like it. I like it. I like a shark movie. It's a shark movie. I like a shark movie. Sorry. Don't like an action movie, but I like a shark movie. Then we watched the Irish flick Kneecap about the Irish rap group of the same name. Really enjoyed it. Fun little biopic. Everyone from the band is playing themselves, and I think they did a bang-up job. The music is crazy. Irish rap goes crazy. Kneecap is fun because it was a half kind of in Gaelic, in the Irish language, and then the other half was English. I wouldn't know if it was exactly half and half, but it was really cool just to see it kind of seamlessly flip between the two. We followed that up with the flick Dee Dee, which does a similar thing, but it switches between Taiwanese and American English, and that was such a good coming-of-age story about kind of skater culture and trying to find your own as a young person in the early 2000s. I connected with it in a very specific way because of that, as someone who came of age in the early 2000s. Then we watched the 2025 horror flick Marshmallow, kind of sci-fi-esque camp slasher type beat. It was okay. Had a comic that I really like in it. Probably won't revisit that one. We watched Stephen King's 1990 flick Misery, based on his novel. Awesome movie. Couldn't get enough of that one. I will watch that again. Then we watched a longtime classic of mine, Coffee and Cigarettes. It's a movie about people drinking coffee and smoking cigarettes and chatting about life. Easy watch, fun watch for me. Pretty star-studded cast, and it's just kind of a cool vibe. I just like that one. Sue me for liking a vibe. Then we watched 1968's Night of the Living Dead. It's a classic zombie movie. You know, kind of can't go wrong. Black and white, cool vibe. Gets a little slogged down in the middle, but it's fun. If you like a classic horror, it's fun. Then we hit up this very strange little animated feature from 1973 called Fantastic Planet. If you like doing drugs, you should watch Fantastic Planet on them. Not saying I did that. No admission of guilt here, but I had a good time. We followed that up directly after with a little short film called A Trip to the Moon, 1902. Very 1902. I can't believe they were making short films in 1902 that looked like that. You should watch it. I think you should watch it. We followed that up with what is maybe my favorite Paul Thomas Anderson movie, Punch Drunk Love, starring Adam Sandler. Came out in 2002. Kind of just a hit. It just kind of rocks. There's this great sequence about pudding and airline miles. You should probably watch it. I think Adam Sandler is a tour de force in that movie. It is, in my opinion, his strongest acting performance to date. I think it tops his performance in Uncut Gems, and I think it shows a side of him that we don't get to see anywhere else. Then we watched one of 2025's, in my opinion, best pictures called Train Dreams. A little less about trains than you would think, a little bit more about dreaming. I would suggest it. The cinematography is insane, the score is insane, the acting is kind of incredible across the board. It was a really good watch. I don't think it quite cracks my top 10, maybe for 2025, but I did really enjoy myself. There's a sequence at the end that I haven't been able to get out of my brain. There's just this beautiful imagery that I think really ties the whole flick together. You should watch Train Dreams. We'll kind of bust through the next couple of these that didn't quite leave as much of a mark. Insidious from 2010, the Tim Burton short Vincent, the 1958 horror movie The Blob, and 2008's Next Floor, a short film from Denis Villeneuve. We followed that string up with the Bill Murray comedy Stripes from 1981. I like that movie. I think it's fun. I think it's funny. I think there are a lot of really great moments. It does feel like a 1980 comedy movie at points where you're like, that didn't necessarily age well. But there are a lot of just really excellent moments in there. The first 15 minutes, we get to see Bill Murray doing a lot of what Bill Murray does best. And then as the ensemble starts to grow, because it is an ensemble movie, I would say, at the end of the day, we see a really tender performance out of John Candy that I don't know if everyone would consider as one of his best, but I really enjoy. We followed Stripes up with SNL's own Marcelo Hernandez's American Boy, his first full-length comedy special. I liked it well enough. There were some great jokes in there about Full House, but it did fall a little flat for me at points. I think he is going to become a pretty big star in the comedy space. He's already well on his way because of his work at SNL and now this special, and I think we're just going to see him keep growing. Then we did a rewatch of Skinamarink, that horror movie from 2022 that a lot of people really liked and a lot of people really didn't, and I'm in that second camp. Grace and I tried to watch this for her first time maybe like 2 years ago, and truly a half an hour in, we were just like, we have to turn this off. It is dreadfully boring. But she felt like she was missing a little spot of recent horror history, so she really wanted to get through a watch. So we sat down, we watched it. I think I liked it even less on a second watch. The first time, at least, I was in a theater. I was at the Music Box here in Chicago, and I was around a bunch of people, and we were all kind of at least having a good time. It feels like a movie that you should watch in the dark alone, and even with that being what it feels like is the intended watch, I couldn't get behind it. Whatever it's trying to do just doesn't really work for me. That kind of scare doesn't do it for me. Then we watched a new movie, a rom-com, based on the book People We Meet on Vacation. This one feels like it's a little controversial as well. Some people seemed to really enjoy it. Some people seemed to feel like it wasn't doing much of anything and all the characters weren't likable. I'm in the middle. It was a rom-com. I thought there were a lot of sweet moments. I thought some of it looked really pretty. But I'm not necessarily a rom-com kind of person. Some of them I'm really into, but they have to be kind of the best of the best. And this just kind of was all right to me. Then we watched The Squid and the Whale by Noah Baumbach. Didn't really care about it, which is funny because directly after that, I watched his new movie, Jay Kelly, which I loved. I really, really enjoyed. The Squid and the Whale came out in 2005, Jay Kelly just last year, 2025. I think the work that Noah Baumbach has put in between those 20 years is astronomical. I mean, Jay Kelly was so sweet and sincere to me, whereas The Squid and the Whale felt so bitter. Maybe I'm wrong. What do I know? Then Grace and I did a rewatch of one of her favorite horror movies, Ma, from 2019. Hey, man, I know a lot of people don't like it. I think it's so funny, so camp. Just kind of exactly the fun kind of popcorn movie that I want to throw on when I'm just like, I want to have a good time tonight. I want to go, haha, wow. Then I watched First Man into Space, 1959 sci-fi movie about, you guessed it, a first man into space. Some really cool shots in there for 1959. Some great work technically. It's a movie. Followed that up with Blazing Saddles, 1974. Very funny. Couldn't make it today for so many obvious reasons, and a lot of the obvious reasons that you couldn't make it were the worst parts of the movie. Followed that up with my first watch of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem from 2023. Awesome. Super cool. So fun. What a good take on those characters. My brothers and I, there were 4 of us. There were 4 turtles. We loved them growing up. Each one of us kind of, in my mind, are represented there. So I have a soft spot in my heart for TMNT, and this really kind of blew me away. I thought the animation was incredible. I thought the story was so fun, and I just love those turtles. Then I watched Chris Gethard's Career Suicide, a comedy special from 2017. I really like Chris Gethard. I know he's not for everyone. He's a little abrasive. He has a lot to say. I like what he has to say. Then I hate to say it, I watched the Stranger Things documentary about the making of season 5. Those guys are stupid. On the 19th of the month, I watched a movie called I Like Movies from 2022. A beautiful coming-of-age story about a kid that just likes movies and is kind of an asshole and doesn't really know how to treat other people. But he is learning. And by the end, Maybe he has learned. And it's a beautiful indie comedy, dramedy, with a lot of things that I really, really liked. It falls into the category, in my head, of a Micah movie. And that means it has a weird little guy, a kick-ass score, and a production design that I can really get behind. Those are kind of the three things you need to have a Micah movie. We followed that up with Paul Thomas Anderson's Licorice Pizza. I hadn't seen it yet. I get the complaints. It's weird. It's wandery. It feels like PTA had maybe 5 short films that he could have made here and just kind of shoved them all into one movie. Cooper Hoffman, though, excellent performance. Can't wait to get to see more of him. We followed that up with A Hard Day's Night, that Beatles movie. It's a Beatles movie. It's fun. After that, I hit my third rewatch of Sinners. Perfect movie. No notes. No notes. If you didn't like Sinners, you're wrong. You are wrong. Then I watched a little British comedy from 2023 called Wicked Little Letters, starring Olivia Colman and Jessie Buckley. It was fun. It was fine. Then we had another comedy special after that. Michael Bolton's big, sexy Valentine's Day special. I know I watched it in January. Could have saved it for February, but we were scrolling through. I saw it. I went, I haven't seen this. It's a Lonely Island project. I love those guys. I loved this special. So funny. So bizarre. Watch it. You should watch that one. You should be keeping a track of which ones I say you should watch, and then you should watch them. Okay. After that, I watched 2 Robert Eggers shorts in a row, Brothers and The Telltale Heart. I've been trying to get through his whole filmography to get ahead of this new Werewolf that is coming out at the end of this year. I like his work. I think these are both pretty strong as far as shorts goes. I like that he made Brothers to show the studios that he could make a movie. And I think both of these are pretty impactful in what they're trying to do. Telltale Heart, maybe a little too long for a short. It's only 20-something minutes, but a couple of those minutes dragged a little bit. But it is fun. Maybe fun's the wrong word. I don't know if fun's the right word. It's Edgar Allan Poe in a short film form. So maybe fun's the wrong word. Then I had my first watch of The Babadook from 2014. Can't believe I hadn't seen it before. It feels like such modern classic horror, you know. I liked it. I liked it well enough. It didn't do a whole lot for me, but the real monster is grief, and that's the message here. You should probably watch The Babadook. I followed that up with Burn After Reading by the Coen brothers. Fun, very Coen brothers. If you've seen their movies, you kind of know the vibe. But this one's fun. Followed that up with maybe my top 3 watch of the month. My first time ever seeing 1982's The Thing. Classic winter horror. Wow. That is to me, perfect movie. It has everything that makes it a Micah movie and then more. It really captured me. I was on my phone for a second. No, sorry, I was playing Balatro when we started it. Mid-round, playing a great round. I fully put the Switch down, didn't pick it up for the rest of the movie because I was fully engrossed. I need to rewatch it because I feel like I will have even more thoughts going into a second watch. I'll know so much more than I didn't know that I think I'll be able to catch and pick up on so many things that I might have missed, just not knowing what was going on. If you were to watch one movie from this list, you should watch The Thing. After that, I watched Twinless, a 2025 kind of indie com drama that I surprisingly really liked. Dylan O'Brien did an incredible dual performance, and it made me kind of understand the hype around him. I didn't know he could do this. I didn't know he had this in him. Twinless was an awesome movie. I'm really glad I finally got around to watching it. You should watch Twinless. Followed that up with Insidious Chapter 2. Boo-boo. Poop from a butt. Then I watched Green Room, a little movie about a punk band that gets attacked by Nazis. Punk versus Nazi. Classic pairing. Then I watched one of 2025's Best Picture nominations just to say that I've seen it. F1 with Brad Pitt. It is long. Technically, it's really well done. It's just a bit of a drag at points. If you like F1, if you like racing, you will like this movie. I'm not particularly drawn to racing, but I really enjoyed parts of this. The driving sequences were all really well done, really interesting. There are a couple of crashes that we see that I thought were beautifully, masterfully created. Just not my topic. Then I watched Bob the Drag Queen's This Is Wild, their new comedy special that just came out this year. It's all right. It's fine. All right, we're nearing the end here. I watched 2013's The Bling Ring, an early A24 movie. So fun. Can't believe I hadn't seen that before. Followed that up with a 1992 Studio Ghibli movie, Porco Rosso. Awesome. Really fun. I had seen that before, but it was many years ago, and I didn't remember much about it. Really cool movie. I really like what it's saying. I really love Ghibli animation. They'll come up a bit later too, I think, or maybe that was this month. Doesn't matter. Followed that up with Night is Short, Walk On Girl. A weird little animated movie about a night out. I don't know if I can necessarily suggest you watch that one. It was 1 a.m. when I watched it, and it did make me feel a little crazy. I liked it, though. Then we did some catching up on Marvel. We watched The Fantastic Four, First Steps, and Thunderbolts, both of which just kind of felt like a Marvel movie. I know we were all hoping that they would get some of their jazz back in this new era. Thunderbolts, I thought, was a little bit better than First Steps, but still just very much feel like the Marvel slop that we're used to. I can see almost a return to form on its way. They were better than the last few from the last couple of years that I had seen, but they're still not great. Followed that up with a doc, The Secret Mall Apartment from 2024. Awesome. It's about a group of artists that found an unused space in a mall and kind of turned it into an artist's hangout until something happened that they couldn't be there anymore. But it just kind of follows these artists and their lives, and I really liked it. If you're into a documentary that maybe can get a little pretentious at points, but is really cool and about art, you would like The Secret Mall Apartment. Then I watched the David Lynch short, What Would Jack Do? I really liked it. If you don't like monkeys, you won't like it. Then I watched the 2026 film The Rip with Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. Pretty classic crime, cop drama. Weird time to put something like that out. Some good moments. I like Matt Damon. I think the best thing that came out of this movie was the press run afterwards. Then I watched The Smashing Machine, starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I was so surprised. This is another case where I did not know that man had this sort of tenderness in him. I didn't know he could play a role like this that wasn't just him being The Rock. You know, it's still pretty close to his thing because it's about a fighter. And, you know, he has his wrestling background, but it didn't feel like I was watching The Rock. It felt like I was watching a real movie with some real heart to it. No shade to anyone who likes like classic The Rock movies. I frankly haven't seen a bunch of them because I don't necessarily like his thing. So I wasn't sure about this one coming into it, but I was really surprised. I really enjoyed it. Then we had another one of my favorites from the month, Sorry Baby from 2025, directed by Eva Victor. An insane directorial debut, a wonderful performance and script from Eva Victor as well. I was blown away by this one. It felt so raw, so real, so tender. I also really enjoyed Lucas Hedges in this. Not that he was a main player, but I've missed seeing him on my screen. You should watch Sorry Baby. All right, then we had two more actions back to back. We had Captain America Brave New World, which I hadn't seen, which sucks. Then we had John Wick Chapter 2, which was fine. Again, I don't care for a bang bang shoot 'em up movie, but I'm trying to get through the John Wicks, trying to catch up on the Marvel stuff because I feel like they are still culturally important to some people, and I like being able to be a part of the conversation and having something to say. Then we watched If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. And it is not what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be funny. Someone told me it was funny. The internet told me it was going to be a comedy. It had Conan O'Brien in it, and I think he's really funny. He was not funny in this. This was not a funny movie. This was heartbreaking. This was brutal. I don't really even think I can talk about it yet, even though it's been a week and a half since I watched it. It still feels so... really good though. You should watch it. Just be prepared. It's heavy. On the last day here, we watched two shorts, 120 Seconds to Get Elected by Denis Villeneuve. I am almost completed on his catalog now. And Yuki's Son, which is a little Ghibli short that I thought was very fun. I'm also trying to get through that entire filmography just because I think that work is all so good, except for the couple of misses. And there are so many of those shorts that I just haven't seen, and I think shorts deserve their time in the sun as well. The last movie of the month was No Time to Die, the final Daniel Craig James Bond 007 movie. It came out in 2021. I hadn't gotten around to seeing it. I saw the first couple of his run as James Bond, and I really enjoyed them. Then I missed one or two, and I thought, hey, I should probably watch that last one now that the discussion of the next James Bond has begun. It's good. It's a good movie. It felt like a good send-off. I wished there would have been a little bit more espionage, because it just kind of felt like it was missing that aspect of a 007 movie. Not that I've seen so many of them, but I've seen some of the classics. It was still good. It was just missing one of the things that I feel like makes a James Bond movie. Not that I'm making James Bond movies, so what do I know? At the end of the day, there's my list. That's everything I watched in January. Go watch all of these and make your own opinion. I'm just one little weird person on the internet that watches a lot of movies, and my opinion isn't gospel. So you should go out, seek movies on your own, and come back here and let's talk about them. Let's make a discussion. This doesn't have to be a one-way road. If you watched one of these that I didn't spend a lot of time on or didn't care for and you really liked, you should tell me why, and maybe I'll have my opinion changed. Maybe we'll do this again in February, but for now, I've been Micah Mabey, and you've been a camera. Thank you so much for watching. If you sat through this whole thing, I don't know, I'll give you a cigarette next time I see you.